Right now, everything for the Colts starts with Daniel Jones. He came in, took the job, and for the first time in a while, the offense actually looked calm and controlled. Then he got hurt, and the whole season flipped. Now the front office, the coaches, and even the fans are all waiting on one thing. What are the Colts going to do with the guy who is finally starting to look like their real quarterback? This offseason is not just about numbers on a contract. If the Colts decide to ride with Daniel, they have to go all in. That means better protection, cleaner play calling, and real help around him so he is not running for his life every week. If they treat him like just another short-term option, they will waste his time and waste another year of this roster. And that is why the people on the sideline matter so much. If Daniel Jones is going to come back and lead this team, he needs a staff that knows how to use him, protect him, and build around what he does well. The new coaching changes in Indianapolis are not just headlines. They are the next big piece in deciding what this team looks like with Daniel under center. The calendar is not gentle on the Colts right now. The combine is in their own city, free agency is right behind it, and the draft is already circling on the schedule. Each step forces a choice on who stays, who leaves, and who they try to bring in. This is not a slow build. It is a tight window where a bunch of big calls have to land at the same time if this team wants to move forward. On top of that, they do not have a first-round pick this year. That means no early spotlight, no easy, just take the blue chip guy answer on night one. When their turn comes, they have to find real help in the middle of the board and then hit again later in the draft. Free agency becomes even more important because if they miss there, they cannot count on a top 10 rookie to fix the problem for them. All of this only works if the front office and the coaches know exactly what kind of team they are trying to build. The players they sign and the young guys they draft have to fit a clear plan, not just a list of names. That is where the new staff in Indianapolis comes in, because the people designing the schemes and running the rooms will shape what type of roster makes sense to chase next. Steichen is not doing a lot of talking, but you can see what he is doing with the staff sheet. The Colts just rolled out a new coaching lineup with fresh faces in key roles, including a new defensive line coach, a game management voice, and more help in strength and performance. That is a clear sign the head coach was not happy with how things work day to day and decided to fix it at the source. Moves like bringing in Marion Hobby to run the defensive line and Aditya Krishnan to handle game management tell you the standard is going up. Hobby has years of experience coaching tough fronts, and Krishnan comes from a sharp research and analytics background. Around them, younger coaches and promoted assistants step into bigger jobs on both offense and defense. This kind of mix gives Steichen teachers he can trust and new ideas that keep the staff from going stale. For the players, this changes how every week feels. Meetings run cleaner, roles are clearer, and small mistakes are less likely to slip through. That is exactly what a quarterback like Daniel Jones needs when he comes back. A building where everyone is on the same page before Sunday ever arrives. And once the staff is set, the next step is simple but huge. Find the right players to plug into this system so the roster actually matches the vision. When you start plugging new people into this staff, the first place you feel it is up front on defense. If the line starts winning more often, the whole team changes. Offenses on the other side face longer downs, the crowd gets louder, and your own guys on offense do not have to climb out of a hole every single drive. A strong front can turn a long field into a short one with one big stop or one sack at the right moment. That kind of pressure game is huge for a quarterback coming back from a serious injury. If your defense is forcing more punts and creating more third and long, you are not being asked to throw the ball 50 times a week just to keep up. You get more drives that start near midfield, more chances to lean on the run, and more room to make safe choices. It is a lot easier to play smart, calm football when you are not chasing the score all night. On top of that, a physical defense sends a message about what kind of team this is going to be. When the front is hitting hard and setting the tone, it pulls the rest of the roster into the same mindset. Special teams play faster, the offense finishes run stronger, and the whole group starts to believe they can close out tight games. Once that attitude is set, the front office knows exactly what kind of players to look for as they move into free agency and the draft. So when you add tougher players and better coaches, the next step is simple. You have to use them the right way on Sundays. That is where the new decision makers in this building come in. The Colts now have people whose main job is watching the clock, tracking field position, and helping the staff make clear calls in big moments. No more random timeouts, no more panic punts, no more guessing on 4th and short. That stuff matters when you are trying to steal a win in the 4th quarter. Those choices show up in quiet ways. You get an extra drive before halftime because you managed the clock the right way. You stay on the field because you trusted your offense on a short yardage play instead of kicking it away. You save a timeout for a final drive instead of burning it on confusion. All of that directly helps your quarterback, your defense, and your special teams, even if it never shows up on a highlight reel. On top of that, the staff around strength, recovery, and tracking player workload helps keep the roster fresh. If guys are not worn down by week 12, you can still play fast and physical when other teams start dragging. That gives the head coach more options on who to rotate, which packages to call, and how aggressive to be late in games. Once that smarter style of football is in place, the front office can focus on finding the right type of roster to match it, especially as free agency and the draft get closer. The other piece people forget is what is happening outside the locker room. The Colts are pushing hard to grow their fan base, not just in Indiana, but overseas too. When a die-hard fan from the Netherlands wins International Fan of the Year and gets flown to the draft, it shows how far the reach of this team has gone. That kind of support does not change play calls, but it does change how the franchise is viewed across the league. The team is also building stronger daily links with its own people at home. Text alerts, ticket drops, giveaways, and constant updates keep fans plugged in even when there is no game on Sunday. That is smart business, but it also builds a real home field feel. When you keep the fan base close all year, the building is louder when it matters, and players feel like they are part of something that is actually growing, not fading. All of this matters when you hit the next phase of the offseason. A strong brand, a packed stadium, and a loyal crowd make it easier to sell veterans and young players on the idea of coming to Indianapolis. When free agents and rookies see a team that is organized on the field and backed by real energy off it, they are more willing to buy in. That is the point where the front office can start turning this momentum into real moves on the roster. Now it comes down to players. All the staff changes, the game day tweaks, and the extra fan energy only matter if the team adds the right people to the locker room. The decision makers have to look at this group with clear eyes and ask simple questions. Who actually fits what the coaches want to do? Who can stay healthy? And who can help right away instead of 2 or 3 years from now? Free agency is the first big test. They cannot just chase big names for headlines. They need steady linemen who keep the pocket clean, receivers who separate quickly, and defenders who tackle well and do not blow assignments. A few smart signings at the right price can fix weak spots fast and give Daniel Jones, the defense, and special teams real help without wrecking the cap. Then the draft finishes the job. The scouts have to find tough, smart players who match the style this staff is trying to play. They need guys who can play on special teams early, grow into bigger roles, and buy into the identity that has been built all spring. These choices will decide whether everything we have talked about so far turns into wins, or just sounds good on paper. This is where everything meets. A quarterback coming back from a serious injury, a head coach adjusting his whole staff, and a front office trying to hit on signings and picks, and a fan base that is clearly still locked in. The Colts are not in a rebuild on paper, but they are in a reset. What they do in these few months will say a lot about whether this group is serious about winning or just talking about it. If they get it right, you will see it fast. Daniel Jones returns to a cleaner pocket, sharper game plans, and a defense that can actually close out Sundays. New faces on the staff will show up in small details that add up to wins. The roster will look balanced instead of patched together, and the noise around this team will shift from "what are they doing" to "no one wants to play them right now." That is what a real step forward looks like. If they slip, it will show just as clearly. Another year of close games going the wrong way. Out another round of excuses and more talk about what could have been. That is why this stretch matters so much. The choices they make now decide whether this is the start of a strong run with a clear leader at quarterback, or another missed chance that everyone looks back on later and wonders how they let it go. Blessings to all my subscribers, family. Your support means everything. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next one.